You have started to listen my new video on absconding employee. Absconding employee is a major problem in current or recent days because there are many issues which every HR is facing. Every HR department in every organization is facing these problems. The first problem is talent acquisition. Then second is talent development as per the need of the organization. Third is the educate performance management system. Fourth one is the talent retention. And fifth one is the ultimate issue of the organization, achieving the targeted goals in a desired manner. Because of these issues, the HR is providing different kind of services, sometimes coaching, sometimes counseling, sometimes developmental activities, sometimes some other activities to perform effectively and collectively to achieve the ultimate goal of the organization and to enhance the bottom line of the organization. Some people are saying the HR is creating the stress and people are leaving the job because of some their issues. So we have to discuss what is absconding. Absconding is a most unethical, unexpected, unprofessional way to terminate the contract of an employment. Means an employee leave the organization without completing certain formalities and procedures. In this, on one fine day, an employee decide not to go to the work. He will join some other organization and he will not go to the earlier organization, neither he will resign nor he will inform. He does not care to hand over his stuffs, what tools and tackles and some other informations which are very important to pass to the next employee. The employees are not fulfilling the requirement of the employment termination. Second issue is employee is submitting resign and from next day onwards employee is not coming on the job because he or she is not interested to complete the notice period. So it becomes very important to understand his motive or her motive and intentions why employee is absconding. So we have to understand this subject in detail. As per the data available across the globe, 39% of employees believe that there is not enough collaboration between people in their organization. Means employee engagement systems are not working at place. In India, I have worked with the very good organizations. Some organizations are working hard to develop or to enhance the employee engagement ratio. But some organizations are even still not bothering what is employee engagement and what we have to do. They are forcing and they are stretching the job through some other means. That is why they are destroying the organizational culture or they are creating the toxic work culture. That is why the two terms are very important. The second issue is there is a very big challenge for HR team in every organization. Do you know who is going to quit next? Means how to retain the talent is a major problem in every organization. So we have to deal why employee abscond. We have to collect data, and I have gone through this process during my working period, or now I am doing the consultancy, so I am facing this problem with my clients and I am providing some solutions. That is why we are discussing this issue. Number one, extreme disinterest in job role, because people are not fit in the role. So they are simply putting the people on the job and they are forgetting. So this is the responsibility of the management or the manager or the HR team. They have to take care, right man on the right job. Second issue is lack of commitment from the employee, because employee is dealing the organization as an employer, not as a partner. The new terminology on which I have discussed a lot in various organizations, various platforms, even I have made the video also. The employee is not an employee now. They have become the business partner because their skill set is unique. As long as the employee will not treat the organization as a partner, he will not perform his job fully, because the employee mindset is different and business partner mindset is different. So this is the beautiful example of lack of commitment from the employee. So we have to take care how we can engage the employee as a business partner. Third one is the negativity at workplace. It can be nepotism, it can be biased, it can be favoritism, it can be some other issues. So this is the duty of top management or HR team to remove all sort of negativities or intoxication from the workplace. Fourth one is conflict in individuals and organizations' goals. When the people are talking about the organization goals, so we have to provide the services, support, and developmental activities so that people can achieve their goals. Number two, the goals should be achievable. Some people are setting the goals very high and they are creating the stress. They doesn't bother what will happen in the organization after completion of this PMS process. So they are developing the conflict between individual and the organization. Next is the false promises made during the recruitment. Some of the HR team members or the senior management makes the false commitment or promises. They are showing the very gloomy picture, but they are not fulfilling those issues which they have committed during the interview or recruitment or selection process. So we have to be very careful when we are talking during the interview. Fifth is absence of rewards and recognition. So whether the reward are not proper or recognition is not proper. That is why employee may terminate their employment. 6 is not being able to cope up with the work pressure and stress. This is the problem of the employee. Some employees cannot cope up with the work pressure. They cannot work in stress. They can work in normal conditions. So they cannot work in a stressful organization. When stress comes, they leave the organization. 7 is a strict manager who does not believe in people-related practices. Some people always works about works and they are workaholic. They doesn't understand the feelings and emotions of the employees. They doesn't bother the employee engagement practices. They doesn't bother the wellness of the employee. They always believe how to snatch or how to extract the maximum work from the employee. 8 is better job prospect. Some employees may get the better job prospect because they have developed themselves in such a manner they can get the very good hike in the market. 9 is personality issues. There is a clash between the subordinate, boss, supervisor, peers, colleagues. There are a number of issues which are emerging on the shop floor every day. So this is the duty of the top management or HR team. They have to develop that kind of work practices so that they can minimize the conflict on the shop floor and no personality clash be involved in those conflicts. 10 is conflict between the team members or supervisors. This is well known. People leave the organization not because of the organization, they leave the organization because of the poor boss or bad boss. So we have to understand these are the main issues why employees are absconding. So we have to understand communication with an absconder. When an employee absconding from the job, how we can communicate what we can communicate, how we can trap. I am giving certain examples. Number one, contact the absconder telephonically or by sending emails. These are the digital medias. We can contact the employee because every employer has the contact number of the employees or the family members of the employees. This is very common practice. We should contact. Number two, we should send the email because everybody has the email. Second issue is if there is no response, if employee is not responding knowingly or unknowingly, then communication by sending an official registered courier letter, at least known address of the employee, because every employer knows the address also. When they are giving employment, that time they are taking or they are verifying all these informations from their personal files, they can collect and they can send the registered courier or registered post letter on his well-known address. Third thing is, quote an appropriate section of your employee handbook or standing orders or appointment letter and inquire reasons for not coming to work. Ask the employee to report back immediately without further delay. So these are the systems. Number four, if employee is not responding, not coming, not communicating over phone or email, then we have to send a registered or courier a warning letter clearly indicating the termination process and what kind of consequences he will bear in due course of time if he will not come back to the work. We should be very strict and we should be very specific. Number fifth process is if no reply is received within 15 days of the warning letter, then we can take or employer can take a legal action against the absconder. So this is the official procedure. If you do not know the address, if you do not know the email, if you do not have any mobile or phone number, then you can publish this final letter in the local newspaper in local language. This is the official procedure how to deal with the absconder. Next is very important, what kind of consequence may come. Number one, absconding from the company is a crime. Under the IPC section 82 of the Code or Criminal Procedure, it means CRPC. So we have to very careful when we are sending the notice. If these terms and conditions are not defined in any standing order or appointment letter or any code of conduct, then we can issue or employer can issue the letter referring the section 82 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Second consequence is absconding is extremely bad for the reputation of an employee. He or she may never find a job in good company again. Number three, further he may be blacklisted by the organization. If he or she will come back, then they will not take him or her or any reference given by him or her. In fact, there will not be any experience letter because he is absconding, he is not completing the separation process. The company will not issue any experience letter, so he will lose the benefit of the experience also. Next is very important. They might lose all the sensitive information in the form of employee. This is the big loss to the employer because any employee is not only a human being, he is working as a very critical cog of the organizational main mover part. Every employee is contributing to the organization in its own way. So he or she may have the very critical information if they are working on the critical positions. So we have to understand next process, that is absconding and termination the same? No. Termination, resignation, and absconding are three different ways. They are not equal, they are not similar, by which an employee leave the company. Termination means when employee decide to break the contract of employment on the ground of misconduct or some other issues or by resignation. But absconding is an informal way by which the employee leave without any prior notice. Sometimes they are issuing they are sending the resignation by email or by WhatsApp. Sometimes they are even not informing. So absconding is a different process. It is not a part of natural process of employment termination. Next is the responsibility of HR team. To avoid such kind of difficulties, what HR team can do? Number one, HR must have the regular talk with the workers. On what? On what kind of issues? Number one, conscious of their satisfaction level, whether they are conscientious or not, what is their satisfaction level. The good organization conducting employee engagement survey either every year or alternate year. And some organizations are assessing what kind of stress level is running in my organization. So good organization or professional organizations are very strict on such kind of employee work practices. But some organizations, some employers are not doing. So this is the duty of HR. They should take this pain and they should start such kind of practices in the organization so that they may know who is going to leave. Second is there ought to be the sufficient focus on employee development through coaching and mentorship. Now, as I have discussed earlier, employee is not working as an employee. Good employees are working as a partner of the business. They are doing very critical role. They are the bread and butter of the organization. So employer or HR has to bother their development either by coaching, by training or developmental activities so that they also can grow effectively, timely, professionally. Number three is a transparent, objective performance management procedure. Every year, every organization is assessing the performance through one way or the other in a systematic or informal or formal way, but every organization is assessing. So we have to develop a very transparent or objective, not subjective PMS, objective PMS, so that we can discuss, we can give the feedback, or we can develop the developmental activities so that they can do better in coming years. So this kind of systems and procedures put on place so that employee can enjoy their working. Number four is tracking goal progress frequently. We should collect the data either quarterly or half yearly, and we should give the feedback to the employee. And we should check whether our practices, procedures, systems are in place or working effectively or not effectively. Those organizations are running beautifully. Where such kind of practices are not in place or not working effectively, where there these kind of problems are arising, and those employers are facing this kind of music. Number fifth is a comfortable work area with decent surroundings. There should not be toxic culture. We have to remove toxication. We have to remove the bad elements. We have to put the effective or very healthy work environment and work culture, so that we can get the maximum output from our team members as a business partner, not an employee. So these are the things which HR has to focus or to have to put in place or practice in day-to-day working. Next is how to control employee who leave the job without a notice, means absconding. We have to understand and we have to adopt certain practices or procedures. What are those? Number one, we have to discuss. We have to send the letter. I have given this example. If any employee abscond, we should take action immediately so that we can grab that employee and we can develop that kind of culture. Yes, if anybody will do so, in future, he will bear such kind of consequences. Number one, if somebody will work, he should be properly awarded or rewarded, and we will take care of his or her development also. So this is the first letter. If an employee is not responding, then we can issue this second letter. I have discussed this procedure in the starting of this video. If employee is not receiving this kind of letter, then we have to publish this kind of information in local newspaper. Every letter has to be sent by either registered post, speed post, or courier, so that we can keep the proper record to deal in further litigations if any will arise. So these are the practices to deal with the absconding employee. If you have more problems or more issues, you may contact me or you can write. We will enjoy to serve you, or we will enjoy after removing your problems. Thank you.